Hello viewers, I'm your regular host, Ferdinand Andrews. Tonight, we will be conducting a revolutionary interview for the history of all mankind with the supreme leader himself, Kim Jong-un. Many viewers may remember his last interview several years ago, which led to rising tensions and his eventual crash and burn. However, despite rumors of his death and his mental breakdown shortly thereafter, in that interview, Kim Jong-un has agreed to this with us. Please join me as we make history once again, here on Tonight with Ferdinand.
Ferdinand Andrews!
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the leader of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Kim Jong-un. Good to have you on the air again, Kimmy.
Really, it is a pleasure to show the world my face again.
Speaking of your face, you look a lot different than the last time you were photographed. What exactly happened there?
Well, you see, last year I was in a severe car accident. The doctors were able to save my life, though.
But you didn't answer my question, really. How are you suddenly so tall? And what happened to your merry weight?
If we're going to be honest here, I may have had the doctors do a little work along the way. You know, height and size, so I can be more of a god to the people.
Oh, I see. I don't blame you. That's smart. Now, speaking of God, what exactly is your state religion here in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea?
You know what? That's a really smart question, Ferdinand. You know what a smart question is deserve? A reward. Give me 1 second.
Where you going, Kimmy?
Just a second.
Okay.
Here is your reward.
Oh, this dog is so cute.
You can name him whatever you want. Now, what were you saying again? Ferdinand?
This dog is so cute.
Yes, but can we get back to the interview? What were you saying again?
What exactly is your state religion here in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea?
Well, we believe as a government to be very tolerative of all types of religions. Like, for example, there's that fat Christian boy over there.
Well, that certainly was an interesting fat kid. Anyways, I'm going to ask you one more time. What is your official state religion here?
Well, Ferdinand, we do believe that such notions as God would only serve to distract the people of my fine country from their patriotic duties. So we do away with the frivolous notion of a God.
So you're saying that you're an atheist?
Well, no, we do believe that there are certain gods, not the Christian God, but gods like me.
So your country people believe that you are a god?
Well, it is healthy to educate the young populace in the truth, such as the fact that I am a god, and that self-reliability is important instead of the frivolity found in, Christianity, which we strongly discourage.
By strongly discourage, do you mean torture and kill?
What do you mean, Ferdinand?
There are several UN reports of human rights violations here in North Korea, including the persecution and murder of Christians, and also from several other reliable sources as well.
Where did you get these lies?
The internet.
Don't you know that the internet is controlled by capitalist Western pigs used to spread their lies?
No, it isn't, Kim. Tell me the truth.
I'll tell you the truth.
Look, Dennis Rodman.
Where?
Time to go.
You.
We have in fact with us tonight a witness, one of only 4 people in the entire world to escape from one of these North Korean camps. For his safety and the safety of his entire family, we've allowed him to remain anonymous. Thank you so much for joining us on the program tonight.
Thank you, and thank God for letting me be here.
Your accent is kind of strange. Could you explain that?
Well, yes. See, my parents were American missionaries who were captured and tortured in the North Korean camp. I grew up there, and that's most of the life I've known.
That's an absolutely incredible story. Could you tell us what it was like in these camps?
Closest I can say it was akin to hell. I saw people tortured. They were forced to eat snakes and rats stacked on agricultural carts just for transport. I myself was put on a spit and roasted just for turning my brother in who was trying to escape.
Are you okay with saying these things?
Yes, thankfully God has given me the strength to go through this and to escape.
What will you do with your freedom now? You can start a whole new life, disappear, and remain anonymous.
I'd prefer to remain anonymous, but I won't stand by while I let innocent people suffer.
North Korea has been ranked number 1 for 13 years on OpenDoorUSA.org for persecution of Christians. Out of the 25 million people that populate the dictatorship of North Korea, 300,000 are Christians. Almost 200,000 people are interned at infamous concentration camps where 3 generations of families are commonly imprisoned together. Around 50,000 to 70,000 are Christians, almost 50% of the prison population. A UN report tells of the horrors that occur in these camps and the cruel and unusual punishments that many face, including pigeon stands in which Christians' hands are bound behind them in such a manner that they can't even sit or kneel. Prisoners are forced to crawl around, being threatened with beatings if they refuse. They also are forced to stand in odd and uncomfortable positions for hours on end, being threatened with beatings or executions on the spot. Despite the attempt on my life, I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that I am all right and I have successfully sought asylum in South Korea. As we have seen, Kim Jong-un is nothing but an evil persecutor and a liar. I have received confirmation that our witness is set to testify before the UN. Perhaps some justice will come as the UN considers what to do about Mr. Kim Jong-un. But as for you, ladies and gentlemen of the audience at home, I would like to give you some advice on how you can help and respond to this evil that is going on in North Korea. First of all, I encourage you to pray for the citizens of North Korea, that God will protect them in these times of persecution and tyranny. Second, and perhaps most importantly, pray for Kim Jong-un and the members of his totalitarian regime, that the Lord will change their hearts and these times of persecution and tyranny will come to an end. That's all for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining me. I'll see you next week.